Hey guys, today I just wanted to take a look at the 2020 presidential election based solely on polling data. So in my last video, I talked about how Joe Biden now leads in the state of Texas by 0.1%. And the state of Texas, considering that it has gone to a Republican candidate since the year 1980, the last Democrat to win this state was Jimmy Carter in 1976. I think that Joe Biden has the best chance of flipping the state of Texas than any Democratic candidate in the past 3 to 4 decades. So I think that this is looking very good for Joe Biden. And in this video, I just wanted to look at the other states and how they are polling in favor of either candidate. So first, I'm just going to fill in the safe Democratic states. These are all states that have typically voted for the Democratic Party, and all states that are polling in favor of Joe Biden by over 15%. These being the states on the West Coast, most of the Northeast, as well as I've included Colorado, Virginia, and the Maine at-large vote, in addition to Maine's first district, because these three areas are currently polling very well for the vice president. For Donald Trump, I have the state of Alaska, Idaho, most of the most of the Midwest. These are all traditionally Republican areas, with the exception of the second district of Nebraska. Most of the South will go to Donald Trump, along with West Virginia and Indiana. Based on the safe electoral votes for each of these candidates, Joe Biden has 207 compared to Donald Trump's 125. In this video, Joe Biden does start off with an advantage. He only needs 63 electoral votes to win the election, while Donald Trump needs 145. Now, I just want to fill in the likely Democratic states, these being the states of Nevada, Minnesota, New Hampshire, and New Mexico. Now, I just want to talk about these four states first. These four states all went to Hillary Clinton in 2016, however, not by as large of a margin as we have seen for other Democratic candidates in the past. But I think that Joe Biden will be able to increase on her win and win these states with a likely margin. I think he will definitely be able to outperform her in these four states and bring these back to being likely Democratic states. Along with this, I have these states of Florida and Michigan. Michigan. This is pretty surprising considering that Florida and Michigan both went to Donald Trump in 2016. So it's pretty surprising to see that these two states are now likely for the former vice president. The state of Michigan went to Donald Trump by less than 12,000 votes, and the state of Florida went to Donald Trump by 1.2%. So these are some pretty solid flips for Joe Biden in the state of Michigan and Florida based on polling data. Florida especially because Florida is always very close in every single election, as we saw in 2016, 2012, 2008, and especially in the year 2000 when George W. Bush only won the state by 500 votes. So now I have the 6 likely Democratic states, and this does put Joe Biden over the top with 277 electoral votes, with just his safe and likely states. Next, I want to look at some of the lean states for the former vice president, these being the states of Arizona, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania. Now, for these three states all went to Donald Trump in 2016 by pretty small margins. Wisconsin and Pennsylvania went to Trump by less than 1%. Arizona went to Trump by around 2.8%. At the moment, Joe Biden leads in polling by around 5 to 6% in Wisconsin and Pennsylvania, Pennsylvania being Joe Biden's birth state, and in the state of Arizona, Biden leads by around 3%. So I think that the Democrats will be able to retake the states of Wisconsin and Pennsylvania, which have typically voted blue, with the exception of 2016. And I think that Joe Biden will be able to flip the state of Arizona for the Democratic Party for the first time in 2 decades. Along with this, I have the second district of Maine and the second district of Nebraska as not safe, lean states for the former vice president based on polling data. Now, not much has come out of these two districts. However, polling done in the past have all shown Joe Biden in the lead here in these two states. And as of now, Joe Biden is expected to win the election by a larger margin than Donald Trump did in 2016. Of course, he won 306 electoral votes. Biden is already at 320. Now I just want to take a look at the tilt states for Joe Biden, these being the states of North Carolina and Georgia, along with the state of Ohio, which I will talk about later. So first, the states of North Carolina and Georgia. North Carolina went to Donald Trump by around 7% in 2016, along with the state of Georgia. However, in 2020, these states are both polling in favor of Joe Biden by around 1 to 2%. and according to polling data, Joe Biden is expected to carry these states for the first time in a couple of decades. So this is very good for the Biden campaign. I think that these two states will get very close, in that they will vote very similarly, and honestly, I think it will be Trump's response to the coronavirus from this point that will really decide who these two states will vote for. Next, the state of Ohio. Ohio went to Donald Trump by almost 9% in 2016. However, Ohio did go to Barack Obama twice, so Joe Biden definitely does have a pretty considerable chance of winning in the state of Ohio. However, Ohio is becoming more and more red, but in 2020, with Trump's horrible response to the COVID-19 crisis, the state of Ohio now polls in favor of Joe Biden. This is a bellwether state, as the winner in Ohio has gone on to become the president in every single election for the past 60 years. So if Joe Biden were to win the election but lose the state of Ohio, that would be pretty surprising, as Ohio would finally break its 60-year-long streak. So Ohio is polling as a tilt state in favor of Joe Biden. Lastly, the state of Texas, of course, as we talked about in our last video, the state of Texas now polls in favor of Joe Biden by 0.1%. I think Texas will go down to the wire in this election. I honestly think that Texas will be the closest state in the election, closer than both Georgia and North Carolina or Ohio. As you know, Texas is just, it has been a traditionally Republican state. However, Joe Biden has been able to perform pretty well there in the polls in this state. I think that Joe Biden may even have a shocking victory and win the state of Texas, but that is definitely what polling data suggests at the moment. Now, the only swing state that I can categorize as going for Donald Trump based on polling data is the state of Iowa. State of Iowa was leading for Joe Biden a couple of weeks ago. However, Joe Biden has been able. Donald Trump has been able to retake the lead in the state. He leads by around 0.3% in the state of Iowa. So this gives him 6 electoral votes from his 125 solid votes. So based on polling data alone, Joe Biden is expected to win 407 electoral votes, over to Donald Trump with 131. Now, in this election, Joe Biden has now officially led in every single swing state. Not at the same moment though, because Joe Biden has lost his lead in the state of Iowa. So this is all looking very good for the former vice president, and it is still his election to lose at this point. So I would like to thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like as well as subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate that, and I will see you in the next video.